Hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Connected here in our live session today. My name is Armando Lacerda. If you have not watched the previous two sessions, you can go ahead there and check out on our introduction, our longer introductions there. I am a consultant, a senior data architecture in the cloud, and I'm here with my friend Cecilia.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much, Armando. I'm Cecilia Versatori, and I'm NCT. I'm a data consultant as well.
Yeah, very cool. And I'm excited about today, Cecilia. We will be talking about Fabric and the governance in Fabric, right?
Correct. We have Fabric governance for the Power BI admins. Any Power BI admins connected? Say
Yeah.
hi.
Say hi there in the chat. We are monitoring the chat both on here on YouTube and also on LinkedIn. So if you have questions as we move along, we love to interact. The thing about live sessions is this, right? We love the interaction. We love things happening in real time. Not that real time. I think there was like 30 seconds delay from the
Yeah.
video to the YouTube. So if you ask, we're gonna see your question here in a few and your answer. So Cecilia, you are a master in this, right? You've been working with Power BI for so long. I'm not gonna say years. I don't wanna date anybody, but you've been working with Power BI for so long, and your work is great. We all love your workshops, and now you are in Fabric too. And when it comes to governance, what is governance? Tell me.
Right. What is governance in general? So we can say that governance is about security, administration, monitoring, management, control, policies, compliance, right? That falls all under the governance. But essentially, it's creating an environment where data is safe and is ready to be accessed at the same time, right? Because we can make something very secure and safe, but if it's not really accessed, I mean, what's the point, right? I mean, people stop using it, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's about having this data state. I love how that terminology, data state, right?
No,
It organized, cost efficient, reliable, and this is from Microsoft, but I really like how they put it. The right people can access the right data at the right time.
I
I
love
love
it.
that, right?
Mhm.
That's simple. That's what governance essentially is.
I love it. I'm 100% agree. And it creates also that trust, right? You can you put your data. That's one of the most valuable things you have in your IT infrastructure, and you put your data in a place where it's going to be secure. It's going to be governed. There will be rules around it. Yeah, 100%. I agree. And again, you have all this experience with Power BI, and now you have been working with Fabric for that long. Um, it was how did it change, how governance has been redefined, how has it changed in the Fabric context now for people who come from Power BI? What would you tell us?
All these new things that are there. So
New
yeah,
toys, I love new toys.
right, because I mean, I remember how simple it started when we were into the Power BI portal, and you could see all these. And I thought at that point, oh, so many configurations that we have to take care as an admin. And now, I mean, l- finally, they are this search bar that we can write what we're searching for, because now, I mean, there is no scrolling down that you can actually, I mean, it's so much. So yeah, it's not actually redefined. Actually, it's expanded. So
Oh, I
what
love
we
it.
have,
Expanded, nice, like it.
right? I mean, like Fabric, right? Fabric is not there to replace it, but it's to expand our analytics platform. But now we have more things to take care of. Uh, and you have a decision to make as well, because you have two paths here. You can stay as a in the Power BI scope and only take care of things that are related to Power BI and say, okay, you have all that you already know, of course, but then you have more things such as the Fabric capacities that you have to take care of. And maybe you, if you were handling the Power BI Premium, you were used to the P1, P2, P3, those you had to purchase through the 365 portal, etc. But now, I mean, some companies may still have those, but they're being replaced, and you cannot really get new ones. But you have to take care of Fabric capacities now, and now you
Yeah,
have to go.
it's a great topic. Sorry, it's a great
Yeah.
topic because when it comes to money, right? All these subscriptions or capacities that you mentioned is where the money bleeds from.
Uh
So
huh.
everybody's
Uh huh.
always looking into how to calculate how Fabric would cost. And in
Exactly.
Power BI times, we had the premium. I mean, we had the free license. We have the pro license, right? That's for people. The premium per user, and we have the embedding, right? The A level, the E level, and the A level, and we have Power BI Premium. We had so many
E5.
licenses in there. Fabric make it more easy, right? It's not that many options anymore.
Exactly. So now, yes, you as an admin now, I mean, of course, you still have to work in 365 for the licensing, the individual license. That you still have to go to the 365 portal. But now, if you want to manage these Fabric capacities that come to replace the Power BI Premium and even add more things such as Copilot, etc., now you have to handle that from Azure, or your Azure admin has to give you some access, or at least create those capacities for you and assign you as the admin, right? That has to
Right.
happen. But let me show how that looks like here in the
Sure.
Azure. Um,
Let us see. I want to see that.
let's see. So here I have my Azure account, and you can see my capacities. I have two capacities here. One is an F2 and F64. So those are the SKU, right? You have from F2 to F2048, right?
Yep.
Uh,
Hmm.
so if you want to get one that is equal to your premium capacity, the base one would be F64 if you want to have most of the same capabilities. You have to buy that one. Like for example, sharing to people who don't have licenses, you need an F64. But now Copilot, because people ask for it, is on all of the the capacity. So even the cheapest one has it. But you can see how
I
this
love
looks.
when they announced that at the conference, right, at FabCon in
Yes,
March.
that was
Copilot
amazing.
for all levels. That is great.
Correct. That's amazing. But if you want to come here and create your capacity from scratch, you have to just look for the Microsoft Fabric, or that will open this screen right here. But see how easy it is. It's a very simple process. You just come here and create your capacity and just select what makes sense for your organization, your subscription, your resource group, and then you have to pick your region. Be smart about the region, and you can, by default is showing me F64, but you can change the size here and you assign the admins. So if you don't have access to this, maybe you can ask your Azure administrator to add you as an admin. So once you purchase this, you can um, go to your Azure portal, and this is how it looks like. Remember your tenant settings, where you go to this gear button right here and you access the admin portal. So
Yeah.
that is the same, right? And we go to where we used to see our premium capacities. But now instead of premium capacity, we go to fabric capacities. So when that capacity is on, for example, I have only this one running right now, you can come here and access your capacity settings.
Oh, that's where you do governance. That's where I manage it from. I
Hmm.
see. So
Yes,
let's see if
and
I got this right. You go to Azure to create a capacity. So Azure is about money. You pay Fabric through Azure.
correct,
Everything else, every functionality in Fabric that you want to manage to implement governance around, you go to this portal you're showing us right now.
correct. Except one thing. So
Oh,
let me show
there's
you.
always an exception.
Exactly. Let me show you a screenshot here. See, this is from the same tenant, and I
Hmm.
can pause my capacity and start the capacity from here. So that's an important one,
Mm,
because one thing that you can do is stop and start the capacity, right? So
mm.
I have it running right now. That's why it's showing pause. So that's something that you can come to Azure and actually handle from there. But what pertains to Power BI in the capacity settings, because you will see that there are a lot of configurations that you can do. So you have to decide this. Are you only in the scope of a Power BI admin and only care about Power BI? So you come here and you just handle that part, which is almost the same, right? If it's not exactly the same as the Power BI premium configuration that you have, see, you can do the
Mhm.
almost the same things, if not the same. So if you stay in the scope of Power BI, you just come and manage most of the time only this part, and other, of course, delegations, permissions, source protection, etc. But if you expand into the Fabric capabilities, you have also, of course, some configuration about the engineering, with the Spark, auto scale billing with Apache Spark, etc. That is if you want to take care of the whole Fabric administration, right? But
Right.
essentially, here is where you come to manage these things. See, many configurations are very similar as the Power BI premium
So,
settings that we
so
had.
if I got it right, in summary, governance management stays on the admin portal. And if I'm not an M365 administrator, I would see just the Fabric options related in there. And we got new options like you just showed us there on the Spark stuff that belongs to Fabric. It was not there for Power BI. And the capacity administration, there used to be Power BI Premium there, moved that thing moved to Azure, and now is the Fabric capacity in Azure. Is that right? Did I get it right?
Correct, correct. You got it, Armando. See,
All
now you're
right.
an expert,
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm listening very
right? You pay
attentively.
attention.
So Tom
But
here on YouTube, Tom is saying, "Bingo! Azure is about collecting your money."
yeah, right. But and then you can see under the tenant settings that you are very used to, you're very familiar with, you will see a lot of many new capabilities, even who can create fabric items, right? If you want to have this enabled for everyone, so you can enable and disable from here. But see all these capabilities. I mean, if we scroll down, we have so many things that we have this search bar right here. So we can say, okay, what's new? For example, Copilot is new. So maybe you want to manage all the settings for Copilot. So we can look at them here if you want to enable Copilot for everyone or not, whom and other say capacities can be assigned to Copilot. And one that I really, really like is this one right here. This is the secure AI interactions, right? Because people using
Mm.
Copilot under the tenant, I mean, maybe exposing some information, right, to the AI. What do you think, Armando?
Yeah, the AI brings a lot of challenges in terms of governance, right? Because we used to protect data from people, right? People looking the data they should look and protect the data that should be private. Now we have AI that collect the data to show people that we don't know who is asking about the data. So it brings new challenges for sure.
Right?
Anika is asking here on YouTube, how do you make informed choices on which tenant settings to turn on or off?
That's a
There,
great
there are
question,
too
right,
many questions.
Armando?
Like it's like a deer in the headlight. There are too many questions that are like, ugh!
Well, actually, that depends on every company, right? We should go through, if we have the time, right? We should go through all the configurations and decide what we want to our company, for our own companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
What
And
do you
you have
think,
to be
Armando?
careful on that one because Microsoft they have this policy like a hit and miss policy. Usually, they when they bring a new feature, the feature comes disabled. So you hear about that feature, and if you want to, you can come here where you are right now, and you can turn it on and allow some people to test if it's in preview and things like that. So most
Mhm.
of the times, what Fabric can do besides the basics, it's off. Like, but if you want to, you can come in here and turn it on. For the most part, it's like that, right? So see that it's off by default, and then go and turn it on. But there are a lot of features that can consume your capacity or cause some disturbance in performance. They're on by default when they come in. So you have to to Anika's question, you have to keep an eye on what Microsoft is releasing in public preview and see what's the state of that release. Like SQL in Fabric, right? When they first release it, you have to come and turn it on. So it was a good thing. You want to test, you go turn it on. There's a feature that's available for you. So for the most part, is figuring out, to your question, Nika, is figuring out what you want to test or what you want to enable, and come here and enable. The basic stuff is enabled by default. Creating a
Mhm.
workspace, creating a data
Correct.
lake. These things are enabled by default, and just
Correct.
give permission to people who can do that. Right, Cecilia?
Correct. Yeah, especially with the previews, right? Because previews, you know how they work, right? Many times preview they don't make it to GA, and then you have your certain people implementing uh, artifacts or different items that are on preview, and then the preview didn't go well, and it disappears. So what happened with our implementation when we use preview?
Yeah,
So
preview features are like that. They can come, they usually stay, but when they
okay.
go GA, they may change from what they were during preview. And a few of them throughout the years they have come and they never made into GA, and sometimes they go away without saying goodbye. When you look at it, it's not there anymore. So,
Exactly. Yeah. So I
yeah,
mean, we have to plan. You can disable those previews so your company can implement anything, or you can have a plan. Okay, we can implement this, but what happens if it goes away? So you have an alternative plan. But see here in the search bar, I can write preview, and all the preview features come up. So
that
I
is
can
great. I
decide.
love that feature, that filtering feature. Cecilia, Joe Black is asking here about your license. Can you go back to Power BI? I mean, to Fabric, the actual interface of Fabric, not the main portal.
Uh, like this one. I'm sorry. Here.
There you go. So which license are you using there? Is this
Here,
for your
actually,
workspace?
yeah, I just realized that I have a PPU. I meant to try the Fabric. For this case, I didn't realize that I enabled this one. I wanted to enable the Fabric trial actually, but
It's
you
fine.
do not
Just
have.
wait.
Yeah, you do not have to have Azure first. For that one, you just enable from either the trial in this case or from the 365. You can purchase those from 365, not
There
Azure,
we go.
really.
There we
Mhm.
go.
Only the
So
Fabric capacity from Azure. Yes.
yeah, so trial, Fabric trial, it's a, it's a very generous thing that Microsoft is giving away for a while. You can set up a Fabric trial capacity, which is equivalent to, so that's a lot of horsepower, and I love
Mhm.
it. I love and I hate it, because some of my customers, they start with 64, they love the performance, that everything they can do. So when they go and say, okay, let's start with the F2 now, and then the whole thing downgrades because now you're paying. But yeah, it's a great thing. The one thing to keep in mind is we do have Copilot for all paid Fabric capacities, right? You do
Mhm.
not have Copilot for the trial capacity. So Joe, keep an eye on one, right? If you want to try Copilot, there is no try. You have to
Correct.
pay for at least an F2 so you can test stuff in Fabric. But for all other functionalities, you can start a Fabric trial capacity for 60 days.
Now that you mentioned trials, something that companies may want to do also is enable or disable the possibility for users to create a trial, right? Or you can
Yep.
say, okay, only this group of people can create a trial, because then you may have a lot of people in your company trying trials, creating workspaces, and they may go away because no one assigned a capacity. So what do you do there?
Yeah.
So you can have this disabled at all or just for a specific group of people. So that's
Exactly. And Cecilia, I was talking to someone the other day, and they told me that there is this feature in Fabric called domains. It's something that was not there in Power BI, and it's something that came with Fabric. And what can you tell us about domains? What's that thing, domains, and how it helps us on governance?
so domains, I'm very excited about domains. It's a new
Oh,
thing, and it keeps evolving and getting more and more capabilities, right? But essentially, what it is a logical layer, and the purpose, the goal here is grouping content together in an organization that is related or relevant to an area, right? So it's only logical, so not really security settings out there. And of course, people want those settings. I want them. So you can submit the idea or vote the idea. So domains will have some or more security settings in time. But some settings can be delegated though to domains. So yeah, essentially it's an extra layer for organization, right?
an extra layer, like
Organize.
you have tenant, you have workspace, so you have management or governance at the tenant level, you have management or governance at the workspace level. So domains is an extra layer, right, in between them.
In between workspace and the tenant, correct. But
Oh,
not
nice.
security capability. So let's see how that works, right? I mean, what do we mean by that? So if we go to these domains, I have two created. It's very easy to create a domain. We can see that I can create a domain, just give it a name. May I want to call this sales. So I can group everything that is related to my sales business line uh, under this domain, and I can assign, see that I have different settings here. So I can tell, okay, this is whatever is related. I can add an image, but I can add admins to this. I can be myself an admin. Come on, there I am. So I can add myself and others as admins. I can add contributors. This has, of course,
Yeah,
different,
everybody has questions, right? What's the difference between an admin and a contributor? And I think the
correct.
basic thing is the admin can add more people to the security thing, in this case, domains, while contributors cannot invite anybody in, right? You can only
Correct.
give permissions to other people to do things.
Yeah, so essentially the domain contributors are workspace admins of the workspaces they have assigned.
Yep.
Those are the domain contributors.
Hmm.
So you can add
So if
those
I have
here.
if I have a case there, like my company has 100 workspaces, instead of giving people permission workspace by workspace, you're saying that we can create a domain and assign like 10 of these workspaces to a domain. And as I give
Yes.
permissions to the domain, it bubbles down to all the workspaces in that domain. Did I get that right?
Correct. See, if you see, for example, I have a default one here, which is general. So if I don't know where to put my report, I can have this one suggested. But then I have my finance, and I can have subdomains, right, for the finance. But we created one for sales. Maybe we can also have a subdomain that is for, I don't know, US, right? The US subdomain. Maybe I want to have well, what did I do? Subdomain Europe. So the different subdomains that you can have here, uh, and you assign them from here. I can come here and say, okay, US. I come in and then I assign workspaces. So workspace by name. So let's choose one. I think I have one for sales. No. Okay, I have to go and check the name, but I have one for. No, this is not coming. Okay, doesn't matter. Let's do it from the other. If we create a workspace. See, we assign a workspace and we call this sales US. We have by default for this user, I have the general just in case, but I can switch and say, okay, I want the sales for all sales or I want US only. So my domain, and then I click OK. So now see that I have, if I go to my OneLake catalog, which is super great, the OneLake catalog for discoverability and governance
Hmm.
as well. That's another Fabric beauty. You can come in here and see that I'm seeing the catalog for everything, for all my domains. But I can say, you know what? Show me only those that are for general. See, so this is my general domain, all my content, let's say, all that is related with domain general. And for some reason, the new one, this is what I was mentioning to you, Armando. See, that is not showing. So let's open again Power BI here. There it is.
Sometimes there is a lag, right? When you create stuff
Exactly.
and it
Yeah.
shows up, there is a lag of things propagating in the back end.
Correct. So
It's
let's
a good
open
time
it.
to have a coffee when that happens. When you're working, you create the thing, it doesn't show in the portal. So let's go have a coffee. Let's go to the break room and then back.
Oh, it's because I don't have anything there. No, it cannot be. Oh, okay, for some reason doesn't want to show. But here you can see that I have my two domains here, and those items that are related to my domains will show up when I select the different domains. See, this one has an image, so it looks nice because I have an image.
Yeah,
But
nice,
see how,
branded.
yeah, see how all of them show up, right? If I click on finance, I only see and govern those items that are related to finance. I can even come to the workspace and try to no, actually filter all the workspaces, because sometimes I have so many workspaces and I only want to see those that are related to the US in this case. See, so I selected US, or maybe I want to say, okay, show me also those for general. See how it's filtering, or I can
Hmm.
clean see everything. That's super cool. It's an extra that I see there, but so yeah, essentially that's that you can do. But we can see something else here, Armando. What do you think this is?
That looks like a tag. Is that a tag?
Yeah, it is. So now we have tags as well. I don't know if anyone had tried this
Oh
before,
wow.
but right? So now is we have even more help for discoverability and find the content using these tags. So we can create as admins, we can create the tags and people can assign those tags to their content. For example, I assign this tag for because this is a demo report. So I can actually filter here and say, show me everything that's a demo, right?
And
So
on
any
all
content,
workspaces I have access to.
yeah. That
Oh
as well. So
wow, that is handy. I love that.
I love it. Yeah. So yeah, what else do we have, Armando? Because I open here, so we access this admin portal as we used to, and I see my option for the admin portal. But now I see this extra one here showing up. Armando, what is this Microsoft Purview Hub about?
Whoa, Purview. Yeah. So yeah, there's so much we can talk on 30 minutes, right? We are almost at time already. But
Yeah.
and as you have shown us, we have a lot of things we can do governance, and we didn't tackle much, but we can do data lineage inside Fabric, right? Where data comes from, when it lands in Fabric, and how we process the data inside Fabric. So we had some feature like that in Power BI by itself. You know, the dependency between the semantic model and the reports. And sometimes you have a composite semantic model, so they connect to each other. You can see that lineage inside Fabric, Power BI in Fabric now. And but when it comes to enterprise level, sometimes we actually most companies they do want to track the data from its actual origin, right? When the data comes from a database, from a transactional system, or from a stream point where you transform the data and the transformations that happen. So, and who has access to each one of those layers outside Fabric. So Microsoft Purview, it's another product. We're just going to mention it here. We're not going to talk much about it. But Purview, it's another product from Microsoft that you can set up. And whatever you have data, Purview can have a connection to there and manage how data, who has access to that data. Some places we can manage security from Purview, including like there is SQL Server connection where you can define permissions in SQL from Purview. And you can see how the data travels from point to point until you get to the very end. So you have complete management and oversight on the data throughout all the stages inside your data pipeline, from transactional to the report. So it's an extra cost. We actually don't need that inside Fabric to control what is inside Fabric. But if you want to extrapolate what is inside Fabric and include Fabric, of course, then you can connect to Purview. It's an interesting tool. So,
Yeah.
you know, we invite people to take a look at that.
Looks like it. Yeah.
All
Awesome,
right.
Armando. Thank you so much for introducing us to Microsoft Purview. Sounds exciting, though, right?
Yeah, I love it. It's a great product to work with. So unfortunately, Cecilia, we are up time. We are 1 minute over the bottom of the hour. So it's time to say goodbye. Yeah, next week we're gonna be talking about data integration, SQL Server integration service. So for you guys who are working with SQL Server and you're doing data transformations in SSIS, it's a great tool. I love that tool. I worked with that tool since it was DTS back in SQL Server 7.0,
Oof.
and I have had so much fun working with SSIS. But since we went to the cloud, SSIS stayed on premise. So now, if I want to do data transformations at cloud scale, I have to use something else. So next week we're gonna be building the bridge in between SSIS and Fabric, how these two things connect together, right?
Correct.
What is that, Cecilia? That's an important one.
So yeah, so I have great news. I mean, if you've been following these talks, you know already. But Armando is coming to town on September, and because he's coming, we're having these special workshops happening on the is it third week of September or is it
Third
second?
week of September, yeah.
Third week of September. So if you want to learn more about all these topics and have actual hands-on, because hands-ons
That's
are
the
very
important thing.
important.
Hands-on. Yeah.
You can find more in that QR code if you go to our QR code and find more about all these workshops. You can attend one, two, or all of them. That's your decision. So if you're interested, this will happen in Davie, South Florida. So you can join us in person.
Yeah, if you are in Dave or Fort Lauderdale area, Weston, Miami.
Or if you're
um,
willing to travel and visit, right? This is a nice location
hey,
to
it's
visit.
gonna be September. Hopefully there will be no hurricane, so it's a great time to enjoy the beaches too.
Correct.
So come and join us. We're gonna have, it's 4 individual workshops. They are not connected to each other. They're independent from each other. So you can, like Cecilia said, you can pick one or any of them in any combination. And we'll be there to answer questions, present on the topics, and most importantly, guided you through guided exercises and hands-on on the platform, on the sandbox we're going to be providing. So we hope to see you there.
Yes, and see you next week.
See you next week, Cecilia.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye, Armando.
Bye now.